What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of First Blood. You guys probably are seeing next to me. It's a different co-host. We're not having Alan on with me a whole shift. He is busy behind the Challenger scene right now. I'm about to get underway and start casting, but today I'm joined by none other than Tyler Johnson, aka Fellow. How you doing, Tyler?
I'm doing pretty good. I hope you guys are all doing well. Thank you for having me, Jerry. It's about to be a good fucking time. Let's get it.
Yep, I'm excited, man. There was a lot of Call of Duty yesterday. We were sitting here talking before we went live for the day about just how many crazy matchups there were. There was a lot of Call of Duty. It was a super long day. Started all the way at 2 o'clock Central. I don't think it ended till about 10, bro. So it was an 8+ hour day of nonstop action. A lot of different matches. And it was a banger, man. So I'm excited to kind of get into it and chat. This will be probably a faster one today, or at least we'll try and make it faster. There's a lot of Call of Duty to cover. Like I said, we have 5 matches to recap. Usually we do a little bit more of a detailed kind of in-depth dive into what went wrong with these teams, but since there is 5 matches to talk about yesterday and then another 5 today, and there's challengers going on, we'll kind of do a brief summary and just kind of talk a little bit about what was going on yesterday. Let me turn you up. Talk, Tyler.
Yo. All right,
we're good there. His mic should be good. I don't know why it does that every time, chat. Sorry about that. But let's go ahead and get right into it. And bear with me, chat. We don't have all the cool graphics and everything underneath. Our producer also works with challengers, so he is busy today as well. But we'll try and do the best we can without the producer and Alan. So let's get right into the matches from yesterday. Just briefly to discuss some of the things that went on. We saw Paris Legion go up against London Royal Ravens. Tyler, we haven't talked too much COD together this year so far, so it'll be fun to have some good conversations. But this Paris Legion team, obviously you were on it. They've had their struggles. We've talked about them a lot on my show, and I don't know, man. They look good at times. Like I feel like Jimbo's kind of found his element a little bit. Like yesterday, he was playing really well. John had stepped up in some moments. Temp has been frying. Everyone talks about him, but seems like these guys, they can't get it together. They fall short yesterday, 3-1 to London Royal Ravens, but it seemed competitive, but they just couldn't get the job done. I don't know really what's going on there. I mean, you have some more insight probably than I do. It's been interesting to watch them, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really don't want to get
dive in
you
don't
too
have
deep.
To.
Yeah, because like, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Online with Jimbo, it wasn't looking too promising to say the least. And then obviously on LAN, it looked like he was stepped up. It looks like he found his element after looking at the post-game stats, which obviously don't completely tell the story. But Paris outslayed London in that series. And I believe John was the only one with the negative KD, so it's like that's a good thing. Hey, 3 people. Donnie was like at the top of like every kill leaderboard as far as like hardpoint KD and shit. He was up there. So it's like Donnie's always getting his kills. That's not their problem. I think it's just about playing efficient and playing for the win, man. And it's like I don't know. They just have to get a better game plan together that's going to work better with what they have as a team. And maybe over time throughout this year, they figure that out. But as you know, with the league, with CDL points and with how these online splits are, Jimbo, if he's not playing good online, he's playing good on LAN. That's cool and all, but they don't have a facility and you need points. So it's like, that's cool, but like you need those points. They're just as important. Like we won a match at the major and it's weighted the exact same as an online match. It was 10 points. So it's like you can't really afford to slack in the online department. And in the same sense, this is the end of major 2. Like, there's only 4 majors this year. So halfway through the majors, you need to start turning it around literally right now. So, and London, as you saw this weekend, I don't really even think they were playing too good as a team. So for them to win this series while getting outslayed, I think that's pretty important.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think it shows the true testament of how good London can be when they're actually on. Overall, I think Paris has started to look a little bit better, but like you said, it's getting to the point of the year where you got to turn it around. You got to start getting these wins under the belt if you want to make champs and have a good seed throughout the entirety of the year. So I don't know, not too much to really deep dive into. Chat, like I said, it's going to be a kind of a quicker one today. They ended up falling 3-1 yesterday to Legion, or to London, sorry, and the Paris Legion are out top 12 again. I feel like a lot of people, unfortunately, have them kind of in that bottom 12, or if not the worst team right now.
Not top 12, not 12 again. We brought the first prize money to Paris Legion, baby. Oh, Jesus.
But I don't know, man. I think it's just like I can only imagine how hard it is. I've talked a lot, Tyler, on how it can be so hard on the mental, as being in that
Dude.
spot of losing all the time and like not seeing results. So I feel for my boys on Paris. They're all good friends of mine. I hope they can finally get some wins under their belt. But I'm ready to move on to the next match, man. Like I said, it's kind of going to be pretty quick today. Usually we'll do a deeper dive and kind of break down some specific gameplay, but we have a lot to talk about and a little time to do so. So I will kind of transition things from there, and I don't really want you to have to talk too much about your old team just because of how narratives and things like that get brought out. So
No, of course.
Paris,
yeah.
they played a very competitive series versus a London team that really didn't look that good in the major. I mean, first map was 250, 198, 6-4 in the SND, 2-3 control, 250, 248 in hardpoint. I mean, that series could have realistically went the stretch, and who knows what it would have happened. But London handled business. That will transition things to our second match of the day, and I think this is a good talking point. We had LAG with the fill-in of Spart. Everyone's been calling him Youngless. He looks like a young gunless. But they went up against Toronto Ultra, right? And they handled business. And I think for me personally, like, LAG had been looking really good going into this major, and I feel like no matter, people say like they have a lesser schedule in the online qualifiers, but I don't know what your opinion is on this, Tyler, but I feel like a win right now in the league is it's a win. Like, it's hard to get wins in a competitive league, and especially a game like this.
Bro,
So for like LAG, they were looking really good. I was worried though, like putting Spart into the mix. I don't think Spart is a bad player at all, but I was thinking like, man, it may be hard for him to kind of fit into their system. It may be hard for them to kind of continue that dominance. They start slow in the winners bracket on Thursday, but they were dominant yesterday, dude. They literally came out. They win this series 3-1 versus Toronto Ultra, and this guy Spart's running the Volk, making it look easy. I don't know your thoughts on that, but this guy's frying, dude. He's playing good.
So playing against Spartan Challengers, dude, that was like always one of the kids I played against where it's like not to even sound like egotistical, it's like some kids you're playing, I mean, you played it, some kids you're playing, you're kind of just got into bed, and then like you play some people and it's like, whoa, like that guy's got the gunny strapped. Like if he like applied this in the proper way, this kid could probably be really good. And that's kind of how I always thought of Spart. And it's like, you know, that first series online probably didn't really depict how good he really is. So I don't know, that was a good win from LAG, man. That's a good way to get the weekend started. A lot of people are saying like, you know, is this gonna put Spart in for Pierce? And like you said, LAG was kind of playing good going into this, regardless of what you want to say about the schedule. I don't think that you make that change. It's one of those situations where it's like, yeah, Spart's really good. He probably deserves a spot on it. He definitely deserves a spot on the team. So it's like, you know, maybe it might not be the LAG team, but it definitely deserves a spot on another team. The question is, after this major, is a team going to reach out, and is LAG possibly willing to give him up? But it's like what you said about the matches. In this league, every team's really good, man. It wins a win. It doesn't, you know, you can't look at it as, oh, this team's 10th, right? Because a month ago, LA Thieves, I was looking at LA Thieves as like a really good team a month ago, you know, before this stint of the online matches. And then, you know, the online matches happen, and then it's like, boom, like they're 0-5.
Yep.
Right? So it's like a win's a win, 100%.
I completely agree with you. I think, too, if any of you in chat are watching this on YouTube later when it's posted, if you guys tweeted Gunless, I saw Gunless make a tweet yesterday, and people were saying, the comments were so negative on it, and it pissed me off because it was like, this guy's really sick. He's out there supporting his team. He tweeted out something supporting his team, and everyone was tweeting him like, you're dropped, your spot's gone, blah, 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 this and that. And I'm like, bro, come on, man. Like, show the guy some respect. Stop being disrespectful. Spart's playing out of his mind. I will say, if stuff starts going wrong in LAG, they definitely know they got a back pocket in Spart now who can perform at the top level. And from a business, from a business side of things, it's like, all right, yo, stuff starts going wrong. We start 0-2, 0-3. Like, I can see Spart getting in quickly, but I could not believe the toxicity that I was seeing in Gunless's mentions. The guy's literally throwing up nonstop with ulcers, and you guys are sitting there tweeting him saying he's getting dropped. I'm like, come on, man.
Wishing the worst for the
guy. Get a grip.
Like...
I'm like, that is unbelievable. But I want to talk about this side of Toronto Ultra real quick before we move on. It's like, these guys, people have been saying it, they're not the real deal since Cold War, right? Like, Cammy was their all-star player. Arguably, Insight comes in for Zinni early on into the year in Cold War, and these guys go on to be a championship caliber team for the entirety of the year. And it's like, these guys have not looked good at all, bro. Like, they really haven't. Before this major, they were 2-15 in hardpoint. I don't know if you knew that. They had won 2 hardpoints. At major 1, they got top 4, going 0-8 in hardpoint. They come into the losers bracket after a rough stages, and people were talking about Bance having COVID, Kleenex having COVID, a lot of stuff going on kind of behind the scenes for these guys that was out of their control. They go on and they bomb out of the major. They get 12th place. And it's like they lose to an LAG team, that's basically a pickup team. And realistically, no one on Toronto looked good. I'm not a big guy to go in and kind of look at the stats, but I don't know if you saw them from yesterday. You saw a .86 out of Bance, a .86 out of your All-Star Cammy, a .9 out of Kleenex, which is something you usually see, and then Insight with a flat 1. And on the side of LAG, everyone's at a 1.08 or higher. Like, these guys were world starring them. And it's like, I feel like I was saying, at the top of the league, when you got amazing players going at it, you can't afford to have this, like, I guess, inconsistent performances and like lackluster games when you're not winning respawns. Like, they're literally not winning hardpoint, and they're a 2-3-5 team who's not guaranteed to always win a search. So it's not looking good.
I've been on a 2-3-5 team. You remember the Bryce Aqua special? That is the most stressful possible team to be on ever, man. But I think I have two things to say about Toronto, and I'm curious to see if you agree with me here. So one thing is, what I've learned about players in general is going from MW to Cold War, it's two different complete ideologies, right?
Yep.
With how the game works. I think some people are way better at applying the Cold War method of thinking, and then some people have to like train their brain to learn the squad spawn type of thinking. So I think that's part of it. I think that's part of it with their hard point. I think that's why their hard point's not too good. And two, I will contest to the COVID thing. I had it for our first 2 matches online, and dude, it was horrible. Like, our warm-ups in between every map, I'm literally going to the bathroom, throwing up, coming back, calling out. Like, you feel drained even after that first week you have it as well. So if one of them have gotten it like every other week and like had weird timing with it, their practice is probably horrible, dude. And like, if they're getting horrible practice, then that's probably another part of why they're just not performing well on hard points. Their teamwork's good. That's why the S&D is good. Last year, the S&D was great as well. So it's like, I think those 2 factors definitely play a part, in my opinion, if you were to like really dive deep into their team.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I think you hit a spot on. I had Bance on this show not too long ago, right before the Major 2 qualifiers started, and it's just like, it's been a rough time for them. They obviously were in the lab trying to fix hardpoint and whatnot. I'm just curious now to see what they do. Like, they know they've been underperforming. Their records across the board aren't good, and they've just been very mid to average this entirety of the year. So curious to see what they do. Like I said, when they go back home, I don't think necessarily a roster change is necessary, but you never know nowadays, man. You can see some of these substitute guys get put in. Maybe they'll look into some challengers players and start to figure out what is going on with the respawn. But yeah, that's kind of all I got for these guys. It was a crazy match. LAG handled business, and they've continued to do so. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. That transitions things into our third match of the day. And chat, if you guys are watching, we're going to be throwing up the Challengers stream once it goes live as well. And Tyler and I will kind of just be recapping everything as well as talking about Challengers. That way you guys won't miss any of the action. Because I know a lot of you are excited about that. But yesterday, the third match was Subliners versus LA Thieves. And I'm not sure, did you watch this entire match yesterday, Tyler?
Oh, yeah.
This match was crazy, dude. It was like battle of the throws. I was watching this, and I think everyone was just sitting there with their hands up in the air wondering what in the world was going on. Like,
mind blown, no nameless.
Yeah, it was nuts, dude. Like, these guys were frying, and then someone would get fried, and it was just like throw after throw. Yeah. It was nuts. It went all the way to game 5. The Thieves ended up completing the reverse sweep, and I don't know if you saw, like, Gersh, the New York guy, who is their social media manager, he tweeted out when they were 2-0 saying to blow it up, basically, for the LA Thieves, and then they go on to get reverse sweep. So a lot of people were clowning him for that. He literally tweeted out on the New York Twitter. He said he took a picture of the kill feed and the control, and they had 4 deaded LA Thieves, and they said he said blow it up or something word to Aches, and that when they're up 2-0, and then they go on to get reverse swept.
Oh, you already know Krim was absolutely heated at that. He saw that after the match and probably told them to fire him.
Oh, that's what I quoted it jokingly. I was like, yo, this guy may have to get fired for this, bro.
Dude, Gersh, I'm sorry if you're watching this, please. You better spit shine Krim's GT3.
No, definitely. But I mean, overall yesterday, like, I don't know, people were talking going to this major. I know you're good friends with some of the guys on New York, and like, these guys, they go through the rough patch. They end up dropping Clay. Things are looking good for them online. I don't know what your thoughts fully were on that, but I never thought like they were the best, in my opinion. I thought they were playing like a lot of teams that were kind of in shambles. They beat a Paris Legion team that's like a guaranteed win almost. They go
They
on to
just
beat
and they were
Minnesota
fresh off the
Rocker.
change too.
Exactly. They go on to
Yeah.
beat Minnesota and Toronto. Then they go into this major, and it's like everyone's talking about them, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, look, they're going to play Faze. They're going to fall short. It's exactly what
Yep.
happened. Then they go on a losers bracket. They're looking good versus 100 Thieves, but then 100 T just comes out, closes out the series, and shows really why they're the better team right now. So I don't know, man. It's weird. Like, I feel like if this series were to go the opposite way and New York were to take the win, it's like you potentially see a roster change in LA Thieves. And it's like now these guys have the
Yeah.
potential to play a very competitive series later on today versus Optic. And I don't know. It's going to be crazy, dude. I'm curious to see if they'll actually be able to put it back together on a new day, clean slate, and see what they can do.
So the thing about New York, you're right. They did have an easier schedule. So you do have to take that into account that when you bring a new player in and you have an easier schedule, it's like what you said, a win's a win. So yeah, that's great. They went 3-0. They got winners. It's amazing. Does it suck they play Faze first round? Yeah. It's like with Paul and a new change like that, I don't think they have the potential to beat Faze right away. Just no shot.
Yep.
Even when Faze, quote unquote, isn't playing their absolute best, there's just no way they beat them right now. And then, yeah, it's like, okay, that's in their minds, it's like, okay, whatever. We have a losers run, LA Thieves. If they win that match 3-0 and just close out that, if they just win that series, period, they can probably make a little run, dude. But, and then LA Thieves probably makes a change. You're right. They probably do. It's like, do they go with Pentagram or would they look at challengers? I don't know. But I don't think Thieves would 100%. I don't think they're necessarily happy with that win, dude.
Yep.
I mean, if I were them, I wouldn't be. I would be like, damn, like, they made a change. Their team might be a little bit better now, but we should, in my mind, I'm thinking with, where, as a player where they should be, I'm thinking, we should have had a pretty clean series against these guys. So
I completely agree with you.
You're right. It's like tomorrow or today against Optic. Hey, if they come out and beat Optic, that puts a Band-Aid on their team, I think, for the Thieves. If they come out and lose, then, as players, I wouldn't say any of them are safe. I would say that it's, there's a potential something can happen.
Yeah, I completely agree. I will say, though, to point out what you said, I feel like they're definitely not happy with that win, but in a way they are, right? They were 0-5 in the stages. It's okay, a win at this point is a win. It's like some confidence, and to do it in a reverse sweep fashion, I will say they're sitting there probably like, okay, like we can do this shit. We are a good team. Like we're gonna compete with the highest of teams, and we're gonna go on a clean slate again, like I said, versus Optic today. But regardless,
they're a momentum-based team, dude. They're very momentum-based.
Oh, yeah, you heard Draza say that.
Yeah, they just start. They are a really good team when they start winning. It's really weird. They're really weird.
100%. I mean, those are all streaky players. Like you look at Octane and like Kenny and even Draza. It's like those guys are confidence players. When they're on, like Kenny is literally disgusting. Like when we've seen him in like World War II at Champs. Like when he's on fire, he's on fire. Same with Sam. Like when Sam's in his bag. Absolutely frying and confident and predicting where everyone's coming from. They're unkillable players. So I'm excited to see what they can do. They got a tough matchup later today, which again we'll talk about as the show goes on. But it's been a crazy tournament so far. They again complete the reverse sweep and take out New York, and New York finishes at last place at the tournament again. That will transition things and again to the fourth match of the day. I think is what it was. It was Optic Texas going up against Minnesota Rocker, and bro, I don't know what your thoughts on this were. I haven't talked to you about this, but I thought this was probably the worst matchup you'd want to see if you're an Optic fan. Just going up against Dylan Price. We know what he's done. Attach always continues to do something crazy in these matchups, and he was doing something crazy. He started off with streaks on multiple maps. Yeah. He had 2 glide bombs on map 3, which could have potentially been a swing map where if they would have won that, they would have went to map 5, SND, bro, Berlin, and it would have been crazy. So I don't know. Optic handled business yesterday, but it was a very tight series versus Minnesota Rocker. And I think that was the first time I've ever seen Scump get booed in my entire life.
So when 3 of them walked up and I heard boos, I was like, okay. And then Seth walked up and I was like, now watch it. The whole energy is about to change. And I still heard boos and I was like, whoa, they're booing Seth. I was like, dang. But nah, it's exactly what you said. If that won a game 5 to the Berlin S&D, Dylan would have done some crazy round 11, just genie stuff. Absolutely walked by 3 people, 3-piece them, and the whole venue would have erupted, and Optic would have got eliminated. You're right, but they just didn't bring it to the game 5. But if that happened, you're right. That's exactly what would have happened. Dylan would have did some magical stuff for sure. But Optic, they just look like, I don't know. They just look like the overall better team. It looked like Minnesota had some life in them. It looked like they used some of the crowd's energy. It just, I don't know. They needed a little bit more, dude.
No, I completely agree. I see someone in chat saying tight series, the hardpoints are a blowout. If you watch hardpoint at all and understand hardpoint to a good logical level, you understand that given to a hardpoint came down to Shotzzy literally making play after play after play. And on the last rotation to P3, the second rotation to P3, he made the most unbelievable play ever. He snuck through back green, got all the way around, flipped the spawns, killed the guy off of hill, and continuously was making plays. Plus, he was double positive, getting full streaks. Like, this guy literally was absolutely frying. And then the Tuscan control came down to a round 5. It was nuts. And, like, it was just, I don't know. It could have come down to so many small things.
Dude, it came down to literally
a tick in defense.
Yeah, I was watching you guys watch it. You were the one counting the ticks, literally.
Yeah, I mean, that could have been swung in either way. And if it goes to map 5, you never know how that series will unfold. But overall, Optic ended up handling business. They did their thing. They won the series as they should have, and they move on to play another day of Call of Duty. So congrats to Optic. And then in the last series of the day yesterday, I think it was, London Royal Ravens going up against LAG. And I don't know what you thought about this. I don't know if you were confident in the LAG team. I don't think anyone was, and they'd be delusional to say if they were, because, again, London was playing a pickup team in LAG, and this guy Spart, again, it was like the Spartan Slasher show. Honestly, a whole team, like, I'll give everyone credit, but for Spart to come out and play like he has, like, I know he's a really good player, but I will say, like, filling in on a roster like that for me would be, like, so hard. I feel like you're going into someone's system, and, like, we all know how Slasher is. Like, I was shocked to see Spart kind of say in the interview, like, Slasher apparently said to him, like, where do you go? You go there, I'll fill in, I'll do the rest, like, or I'll go wherever you don't go, type of thing. And I feel like that's good to see. Like, whenever you're playing with a fill-in player like Spart, I feel like you want to make him feel as comfortable as possible, and, like, there's no pressure. Like, just let him do his thing, let him be in his specific role. Because, like, I don't know, it's not easy shoes to fill, and it's hard to play at the top level versus some of these teams and, like, try and understand, I guess, some of the people have different call outs, different strats, the way they look at the map or rotate specifically.
When you fill in, if you try to listen too much, because I filled in with Dallas last year, and, like, at first I tried to listen too much, and I was like, okay, dude, I'm giving myself no opportunity on the map. So, like, you're right. And then after, like, 2 matches, I was like, dude, I'm playing way more comfortable. And they're like, yeah, we'll like, you know, Ant was like, bro, like, I'll fill in here or here. Ender was like, I'll pull out a sub here. And then, like, it conformed more to how I wanted to play, and it felt completely different. Like, so 100% Austin taking kind of like a backseat, kind of doing whatever will make him comfortable and just kind of letting him do his thing. And he's getting warmed up. He's starting to pop the, like, dude, do you see against in this London series, you saw the 3-piece he popped in the S&D on Tuscan, where he's just jumping around in U.
Yep.
Like, he was doing the craziest shit, dude. Like, let that guy warm up, and he's gonna win you the match. Like, fuck it.
Yeah,
and
no.
Everyone else already knows what they're doing. They're all on the same page. They play together every day. You know, they're the team, obviously. So it's like, yeah, I agree. I like how they went about that.
Definitely. And chat again, I'm gonna swap over to the B-roll cam. I see the challenger stream starting, so we are gonna be continuing to talk about the CDL and the matches from yesterday, as well as watching challengers, because I know you guys are interested in both. So you guys don't have to miss any of the coverage. We'll be covering it all and hanging out. So I think we have the Stallions going up against I don't know what their team name is, but it's like Venom, Diamond Con, Royalty, and someone else, Proloot. So this will be a crazy match. We'll have this up going on in the background as we continue to talk. But I don't know. I was shocked yesterday about the match with London Royal Ravens kind of getting 3-0'd. Like you said, I feel like they had a underwhelming weekend. They go out and they got top 4, I think, at Major 1. And then they go
top 3, right?
Was it top 3? Was it third? I
top
forget.
3 or top 4, but they played really good.
Well, it's an Optic Faze final.
Really
did they beat LA Thieves? They did, right? So maybe they did get top 3.
They got 3rd, I think.
Yeah, so they look great. And I mean, and you heard a lot of people talking about it too. It was like there was a lot of controversy with Gizmo. He had personal stuff going on and wasn't performing to the best of his ability, and they still had it go all the way the stretch and was frying. So I don't know. I'm curious to see what this London team does. I think they go home. They stick out the same roster. They just got to find some consistency in their game, because they have not been looking as top notch. And I don't know your thoughts on this. I feel like you've played in the league this year. I feel like people always forget to a little bit. Like, we're going from these online league matches to these LAN matches, and it's like I feel like people completely forget about that aspect of things, in my opinion.
Oh, dude, no, it's pretty big, because, you know, the league does their best with, like, these dedicated, you know, these servers, etc. But the game just feels like when you go to LAN, like, these guns just, like, it's almost like they shoot different, dude. Like, The auto is so good on land, dude.
Mhm.
Like ever since that they nerfed the MP40 a few weeks ago, or maybe at this point it was months. I'm losing track of time. But they nerfed it, like the range on it, and
Uh-huh.
when that nerf happened, and then everyone went to land, the auto was so good, dude. Like it's actually night and day. So yeah, I mean, it definitely plays. And then this year, more than any year, everyone kind of moved away from that Texas bubble that we were kind of previously in.
Yep.
And teams are kind of, there's still a lot of Texas teams, but teams are kind of in their own locations respectively now. So, online's just not ever going to play the best in that situation. So yeah, it's a big difference that is not talked about too much anymore.
Definitely agree with you. I'm curious to see. We'll continue to talk about it as it goes on, but I'm curious to see what kind of LAG will get today. They have shown us that they can beat two teams 3-0 now in Toronto and London. But I'm curious to see how far this run can go because it's not going to be an easy one. They got a lot of hard matches today coming up, and
They play one match today, right?
yeah.
LAG.
Yep. So it'll be
Okay.
well. I think they'll play one, and then they could potentially play. Or no, it is just one. I think you're right because they already won their top 6 now, right? I want to say.
One.
So they'll play one more
They play
for top 4.
They play the loser of Seattle, Atlanta.
Yep. So that'll be the last match of the day. But we can kind of talk about some of these matches and then continue to talk about some of the challengers gameplay for today. The first match of the day today is actually going to be Optic versus LA Thieves. And bro, this match, I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but I don't think this is going to be a very good match in my opinion. I feel like we're talking about a broken kind of LA Thieves team. They're now 1-5 in their last 6 matches. They potentially could have got 3-0'd yesterday by New York. And I feel like on the side of Optic, like these guys just have a stronger map pool across all modes. I will say some players tend to like step up in these bigger matchups. They love playing against Optic, so I could see it being competitive in that aspect. But I don't know, man. I think Optic's the better team by far in this series, and they're going to show and handle business pretty convincingly.
Yeah, I mean, LA Thieves, Optic, it sounds like that old NV Optic rivalry type beat. So you want it to be that crazy match that kicks off the day, but as a player in reality, these guys are going to the venue. They might have a warm-up scrim, they might not. These are one of those series that it's like Optic's by far the better S&D team. So as long as they don't come out and just play too confident, right? Like start trolling, I think they by far win the S&D. And it's like from there, you're right. Some players do step up in the bigger matches, so you can't count out Thieves. You can see them come out and win the first hard point 100%. But I think Optic's the better team. I think that if they come out hot, it's a 3-0. I think if LA Thieves come out and put up some fight, that they can make it a competitive series. But their Achilles heel against any of these, I would say like S tier or A tier teams is going to be S&D, dude. It's like even if they do extend the series to a game 5, it's like okay, well, they just beat what, New York, which is like a newer team in a game 5. But it's like, are you going to beat a practice team that has been through multiple game 5s and has been clutching them up and winning them? I don't think so. So I'd take Optic there for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's just like gonna be a hard match for sure, and I think on the side of the vetoes too, like we've seen Optic kind of continuously veto Bokage, but 100 Thieves never plays that map, so they're gonna get rid of that map for him. It'll kind of put the vetoes in Optic hands, and I feel like LA Thieves, that's something they've struggled with, is their map pool isn't very deep, so they're gonna get screwed in the vetoes versus an Optic team who has a deeper map pool than them. So I think Optic will get a lot of maps that they're very comfortable with. They can get rid of Gavutu and screw up on Berlin if they want, or they can get rid of Berlin and continue to play Thieves on Gavutu. I don't think they really care what maps they get here with how well they've looked across the board in hardpoint. So I got Optic in this one. We do little predictions sometimes. I think we both kind of said I think I got Optic with this one like 3-1. I think they'll handle business. I'll give Thieves a map.
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm going with it though. How about you?
Yeah, oddly enough, I'll give Thieves a control, and I'm gonna give Optic their second control loss this event, and they're gonna have to figure it out mid-event, mid-losers run, adapt or die. That's gonna be the story.
I like it. I like it. It'll be interesting to see. Again, some of these teams are going to get to play twice today, and we know how that it can be on land, kind of getting that momentum flowing, getting the blood flowing. So on the
When's the last time you played twice in one day on land?
Oh, it's been forever, but it'll be Black Ops 4. It'll literally be Black Ops 4 for me.
It's been years.
Yeah, it's nuts. They don't let you really play multiple matches in a day anymore. So I'm scared to see an Optic Texas team kind of, if they were to win this first series, get to play again later that day versus a team coming from winner's side. But that will be obviously losing that series to play against Optic later. So it's going to be scary. I'm going Optic here. And we can transition things into the second match of the day. We got Florida Mutineers going up against Boston Breach. I don't know about you, but this Boston team is like, they've impressed me to say the least, bro. I feel like
playing
a lot
against them, they're good.
Yeah. Oh, they are good. And it's like, it's weird, right? Because like, obviously we've both been around for a long time. We played Call of Duty for a long time. And you feel like you see new players come into the league and you're always kind of, I don't know, questioning it, I guess, if that makes sense. And like, on the side of Boston, you have Nero coming in. No one really knows too much about him. He played Cold War Challengers, right? And then Capsule, though, I think was like the biggest question mark of all time. Like no one really knew much.
People were mad when he got picked up.
Oh yeah, and rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, I feel like
the hell out of himself.
Oh yeah,
respect.
So I feel like that's kind of where like that's been like a big talking point, and it's just super weird. But like these guys have fried, bro. Like they've continuously gotten better. I was hard on Nero at first for a little bit when I was always talking about him. I felt like he was super inconsistent across the board. And same with Capsule, honestly. But Cap seemed to have figured it out a little bit quicker than Nero. And now it's like getting to the point where you're seeing a lot more consistency across the board. Zenny's playing some of the best COD he's ever played since World War II, I would say. And these guys have figured out their map pool. And like what scares me about Boston, like you can never count them out because they're so good at search. Like any team, these guys remind me of like, I don't even know, like kind of like your old Rise team with more respawn power. They're just good at, they're really good at search, and they're just solid at respawn. So like, you can never count them out of a series. Like they can go down 0-1. They're still guaranteed that map 2. The only weakness for them really is like their control. And they haven't looked good across that mode. But I know since the Tick edition has been in, they've looked a little bit better across the board. But they're playing Florida, man. Florida's streaky, bro. They're real streaky.
This is a weird matchup, dude. And this is a winner's match. Like, so you got to think everyone's coming out turnt this series, you know? Like, there's, you know, this is for a spot in winners finals, right? Like, geez. Yeah, it's like that Boston team, like, from playing against them, bro, like, they're probably one of the hardest teams to play against because, one, you're taking everyone, you know, serious, but, like, you know, you're not thinking that they're coming out with this crazy fire, but every time you play them, they're just so fast. They're so fucking annoying to play against. Like, they're just a really good team. And they're just like, they're an example of one of those teams that if you break them apart and put them on different teams, they probably aren't nearly as good. But you put those four together, and they are actually very good. I think they're a top 4 team.
Yeah, no,
in my opinion.
I agree with you. I think that's so fair to say. I had them top 4 before this major even started, just from the way they had played in the online qualifiers. And now with London bombing out and them still continuing to dominate, this matchup is just so weird. Like we saw it online right before. We saw it on Sunday, actually last Sunday. They played Florida and they won 3-0 fashion. Was pretty dominant, and you saw Boston clutch up on every map. But I'm curious, man. Florida looked good. They haven't obviously played in a few days now. They played on Thursday versus London. But again, we talked about London. It's like these guys look shaky, dude. Like they didn't look good. But Florida did come out and handle business. They won 6 straight in that SND. They clutched up on the Gavutu hardpoint. So I'm curious to see what map set we get. I know Boston, they've been weird with like getting rid of Bocage, even though they're willing to play it. But I hope they continue to get rid of it, just because Florida's only like really good map statistically so far has been Bocage. So I hope they get rid of that. I'm curious to see what maps they'll play. I don't know if they would rather square up on a Gavutu again, because last time they played this map, Gavutu, I'm pretty sure Boston won by 100+ online. So I don't know if you'd see a Berlin Tuscan here. Maybe they switch things up. And then as far as S&D goes, it's going to be interesting, bro. Both these teams are like good at search. They're random as hell at hardpoint. Like you said, everyone's going to show up turnt to this match. It reminds me of like an 8's lobby, bro. I swear, I don't know who's going to win this.
This is going to be a crazy match. Like, S&D, I feel like Dave with the snipe is going to set a precedent. Like, I'll be honest, I've teamed with Dave, I've played against Dave. Like, he's really annoying with a sniper, dude. Like, this guy plays on like 5.7 cents. Like, I promise you he's just not missing. Like,
Tyler, real quick, we're witnessing a breakdown live on stream. I'm not sure if you're watching this. This was like a 200 to 80 game, and now the Stallions are going to come back and win it. Oh my God.
My Canadian brothers,
we literally just witnessed a breakdown live, brother. We weren't really talking about
brothers,
it. Yo, it was just 200 something to 80, and I think Royalty was 18 and 8 or something, and they just came back and won. Yo, I wasn't even paying attention. I look over at the score and I see what a break. Oh my
Bro, I had your
God.
stream open and I was like, oh, 200 to 80. They won. Let's go. Oh.
Oh
Yo,
my God.
Zuma doing
Oh,
cartwheels
he's
through his
doing
apartment
cartwheels right now. 100% he is. He's probably screaming. What a comeback to
What a
open the
good
map.
match, though. That's a sick match.
Oh, that is. Like I
It is a
said,
good
chat, we'll
matchup.
be tuning in now
That's winners,
back and
correct?
forth. Yeah, this is for top
Okay.
3. So whoever wins
Ooh.
this, you get a big step going into the bracket for sure.
So top 3, you're guaranteed the play-in tournament.
Correct.
Right?
This is literally for playing. So that's nuts for the pro am.
That's a big match. That was a big choke.
Oh my God, that is crazy.
Okay.
Well, let's cycle back here while we watch this.
Mutineers Breach?
Mutineers Breach, correct. We're both talking about just how crazy of a matchup it is. It's nuts. I really don't know. I know which way I'm.
Yeah, right.
That's kind of what I feel. I feel like Boston, even though they're a good bow cage team, they get rid of it versus Florida. They square up on any other map. I feel like they're comfortable. Search and destroys are like 50-50, and I'd probably give Florida the edge in the control, honestly, because they have not looked too good at it.
Them control, yeah. The thing, so the reason I agree with the bow cage is actually really funny. When we played Florida and I was on Paris, I remember Donnie getting on that day and saying, "Listen, we're vetoing bow cage hardpoint. I don't give a fuck. We're not letting Reese Vivid run wild." Coaches come back from vetoes. We played bow cage first map. You can guess what happened, bro. Reese Vivid is just running around, just fucking knocking us out, dude.
I feel like that map is perfect for them, bro. I feel like it's literally perfect.
It is, dude. They should just get it out. It's good for Breach too, but like they're a little more predictable. For example, like P1, bro, if Capsule gets a kill in barn and I come off spawn, like water side, I instantly rat back and know every single time that when Capsule gets that kill, he runs on the barn roof and hits out the back. Like I just knew, like there's certain little things like that that make them a little bit more predictable on that map. They hit very common routes. So I don't know. I'd get it out if I was Boston. I wouldn't even risk it. There's no point.
Yeah,
I have a better map pool.
Completely agree with you. I feel like they have a better map pool for sure, and they can kind of extend the series that way. Down to do predictions if you are. I think I know who's winning this series. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a battle, but I'm confident in my Boston Breach bros. I got them winning this series. I think they'll take it 3-0 or 3-1. I'm going to go 3-1 for safety measures, I think.
I'll go 3-1. The reason the online match, I think, is a little weird is because, you know, Florida's in Florida. Boston's actually playing from Boston.
Yep.
So the way that server works is probably a little interesting. It's probably not the best online. That's probably a really weird online matchup, but I still think Boston got it 3-1.
Yep. I completely agree with you. Then that'll take things into our third match of the day. We got the Seattle Surge going up the Atlanta Faze, and I feel like most people are sitting here thinking, oh, this is going to be a Faze smoke show, but then you got to remember all the history. The last few times Seattle has played them, I think it's the last 3 or 4 times, Seattle, the organization, doesn't matter what game, what tournament, don't matter. Seattle's won every single one of them. I don't understand how. It's something in the air. I don't know if Lando and Steady are going to be casting it again, because every time Lando and Steady has casted it, the Seattle Surge team has won. So it's going to be a battle, bro. I feel like the Seattle team still is so weird to me. I'm curious to get your thoughts on it, but like they seem like it's almost like another Florida in the league. Like these guys literally can go out, beat the top dogs, and they've shown that they can compete with them consistently, but then they go on to like lose versus middle of the pack teams. I don't know, man. They look great. Again, they come out and they 3-0 Optic off of the main stage on Thursday, and now they get to play again another top powerhouse team. I'm curious to see what they can do.
So Seattle, what the vibe I get from them, and like I don't know their internal team and how they work, but like I played with some of those players. What I get from it is when they play a good team, they have like this crazy hype behind them. They're getting kills. Pred's literally beating on his chest in between kills, screaming, come on, just piecing them. And then it's like they played us, for example, at Stage 1, and it's like they were almost sleeping compared to how they would play a different team. So I think it's about just finding the fucking killer instinct every single match for them, because you're right. They're probably the streakiest team next to Florida. And it's like the difference is I think Seattle has a higher ceiling than Florida does in the sense of who they can beat. I think they just knock Optic into losers, and I think they can beat Faze. You're right. And it's like they beat them the last 4 times. It's like, oh, it's like, I don't know, man. I don't think Faze played lights out COD in their last match.
Yeah.
They played good enough to beat the team they played 3-0, but the other team could have won a map or 2. And usually when Faze plays, I'm like, wow, they just 3-0'd the hell out of those guys. They stood no chance. And like that's how you know that they're in their peak form. So I don't know. We'll see. It's a new day. That one's gonna be hard. I'd take Faze probably 3. I'd take that a game 5 Faze. Game 5 Faze.
Yeah, I think it's comfortable to say. I will say on the side of Seattle, I feel like Seattle's looked so good in search. And the last time they went map 5 was like a Berlin SND. These guys looked fluent and sound. Like they looked like they had some of the best strats I had seen on the map. So I think I'm going to go Faze here. I think they finally get the best of them. It's going to be a very competitive series, an absolute battle. I think Faze win this one 3-1 though. I think it's time they're due. I think they are the better team, and this is Faze's tournament to lose. But I will say, whoever wins this series, I think has a great chance to take on like Boston or Florida, go all the way to that finals and continue to handle business. Just because I think it's fair to say that the top side of the bracket is more favored than Boston and Florida. So it's gonna be nuts, man. So it's two of these teams. Like it's crazy to think that Boston or Florida are gonna be guaranteed top 3. Then you're gonna have Faze or Seattle. Like it wouldn't be crazy if Faze won, but imagine if you see like a Seattle Boston or a Seattle Florida winners final. Like that's just nuts. Like it would be crazy to think about. I feel like no one would have predicted that at all.
The losers bracket would be terrifying.
Yep, it would. I mean, it's already terrifying. You got LA Thieves and Optic, 2 of the biggest branded teams in the entire organizations in the entire industry right now, about to battle it out, and the losers getting what, top 6 or no, top 8, top 8.
Top 8.
Yeah, so I mean, you're gonna see some absolute grueler matchups today. It's gonna be nuts. Then I don't know, man. It's gonna be crazy. I mean, you're gonna have what? So yeah, Texas or LA Thieves, they'll win. And then Boston or Florida will go straight to losers. And then Surge or Faze will go straight to losers. And then yeah, the last 2 matchups of the day would be dependent upon the winners of Texas. So the 4th match would be winner of Texas LAT and loser of Florida Boston. So assuming Texas handles business and wins, they would potentially go on to play Florida, which I feel like, dude, either team that plays like that's going to be a good matchup in losers, assuming like Texas wins.
It's going to be good because it's backs against the wall, and I think it's going to be Texas versus 2 teams that have backs against the wall, nothing to lose, and are really streaky fucking teams.
Yep, I completely agree with you. It's going to be crazy, dude. I'm so curious to see.
I think might lose and fall into losers and play Optic. And that is
no. Texas would play Florida or Boston, and then the winner or the loser of Seattle Atlanta plays LAG. I feel like
that would have to happen Sunday. That had to happen Sunday.
Yep.
I think it's destiny that they play again.
What, Faze Optic or Seattle Faze?
Seattle Optic.
Seattle Optic. Okay.
Yeah, I think that'll happen tomorrow. Not to spoil these 2 matches. It's just the way it's gonna have to happen.
Yeah, dude. If Seattle comes out and wins again, I would be sitting here just like mind blown, honestly.
Mind blown.
It would confuse me. I feel like if they were to beat them 4 or 5 times in a row, whatever it is, it would be nuts to see them continue to dominate. I don't know.
But you saw it at the kickoff. You know, they got some momentum and they were kind of like disgusting, dude. So it's like if they kind of come out today in the same fashion, then they might win the fucking event.
Oh, exactly. Nick jokingly texted me. I was like, Seattle's winning this event. I was like, what? There's no shot, bro.
No. He did not. He did not. Oh, guys. You know what to do. You know what to do. Seattle's winning the event.
If Nicky's saying it, they're winning the whole thing.
Nick gave them his blessing, dude. It's over.
It may be over, no cap. I really am curious to see what they can do there, because when Sim and Pred are on, like, these guys look disgusting. Lamar, obviously, people are always joking around. This guy can't keep getting away with it. He's having some insane clutches. And it's hard to kind of.
He can't keep getting away with it, dude. Like, bro, if the bomb's planted, you bring up your scoreboard and Lamar's alive. Like, I think teams just get so deep in their own head at this point. They're like, yo, it's Lamar.
They must get nervous or something, bro.
And then Lamar just plays them like a fiddle from there, bro. It's like they like give it to him because they know he's last alive. They like just go in defense mode, dude. It's insane.
I agree. It's literally nuts. But
I mean, props to Lamar. The fact that he keeps pulling it off is the most tippable thing ever. Like, respect.
The Iceman, bro. Literally the Iceman.
Respect, dude. Respect.
Well, it's hard to kind of talk about some of these matches, to be honest with you. If you guys are watching with us live on stream right now, I know you guys are all interested in challengers, and there's a lot more eyes on it than ever before, because Zuma's team is now the Stallions. So it's hard for us to kind of predict 2 of these matches. It'd obviously be completely opinion based. I think if Texas were to win, which is what I have winning based on predictions, and then the loser of Florida Boston, which we both have Boston winning. So you'd see a Texas potentially play up against the Boston Breach team. Texas, play against Florida Mutineers. I think Texas would continue to dominate that series, in my opinion. I don't know what yours are, Tyler. This is all obviously just random
So
and
yeah, I'll play
opinion
devil's
based.
advocate. So I think you're right. I think that's if you were to flip a coin 9 times or 7 or 8 times out of 10, it's going to be the matchup you just said. But there's a chance it's LA Thieves, Florida.
Oh, there's definitely a chance. That's what's crazy. Like,
That's crazy to think about.
yeah,
LA Thieves, Florida. Like,
it's
I don't
all
even know what to think about.
hypotheticals. Like, it's
What do
just
you
like
even what do you even think about that series? What if that happens? LA Thieves, Florida. I
I
don't
feel
even
like
know
that's
who
a.
wins that.
I feel like
That's a hard
Florida.
one.
I feel like Florida would win that series from the sole fact
Yeah.
that they're just better at like search and they're good enough to win a respawn versus an LAT team that has been struggling. But
Yeah.
I mean, we both know how it is. We both competed. Like when you see teams go this far into a tournament, like it doesn't matter what has happened in the past. Like you get into a tournament lock it in mode where you literally it doesn't matter. Like you can play anyone, doesn't matter. Like
Any of these teams can win.
exactly. So
Any of
like
these teams can win,
we've
truthfully.
played against them. Like people probably think we're delusional, but I swear I've said it forever. Like when teams are playing at the highest level at a tournament, like they can beat anyone. And we're obviously in a COD league full of amazing, talented players. Like literally anything can happen. And to be fair, COD Vanguard is
I was just about to say, with the
pretty
mix of the amount
random.
of talent, and good teams that have developed, then you also have to keep in mind that we're playing a game that one day you could be the best team, the next day you're going 0-5 in your league stint. Like, I don't know. This game could be very day to day, dude. I
It's
think
nuts.
everyone used to say that about MW, but this game's pretty day to day, dude. And at a tournament, a few days in, you cannot count a single one of these teams out. Everyone's gonna be playing pretty on point, dude.
100%. I completely agree. And I don't even want to, I mean, assuming, again, this is all hypothetical randomness. It's hard to kind of do
LAG.
predictions. Yeah, it'd be LAG going up against a loser of Seattle, Atlanta. And like, I'm assuming Seattle's going to lose to Atlanta. But again, this is all hypotheticals because if history repeats itself, we're going to see Atlanta going up against LAG. But I don't know. Do you think LAG will continue the run depending on who? We just won't even say who they're going to play because, again, it's all
If they play
hypothetical.
Seattle, they have a chance of winning the series. After, let's say Seattle comes off a loss, they're a little like, the matches aren't that far apart. So Seattle will have a 1-match break and then be playing. So it's like, if Seattle has to play LAG, I think LAG have a chance. I don't think it's a great chance. I think it's a chance. If Atlanta falls and has to play them, I think Atlanta smokes them. So,
Yeah.
that's the limit they hit with their sub. They have a sub in at the end of the day. Like they won 2 matches, bro. They're really buying time right now. Like it's only a matter of time before they play a team that's literally on point, and there's nothing they can do. Their S&D will get exposed a little bit unless Spart just has like these crazy maps. I mean, if he keeps having crazy maps, then maybe they keep a run going. But yeah, if they play Seattle, they have a chance. If they play Atlanta, it's looking grim.
I feel like on the side of LAG, like you're hoping you play Seattle, not only because you think they're the lesser team, but from the sole fact that, bro, I guarantee you Spart is probably so delusionally confident playing people that he used to play in Challengers, like playing like a Sib, playing a Lamar who was in Challengers for a little bit, like playing some of these guys, like he's so confident, bro. He said that forever. Like he played them in Cold War. He was dominating a lot of these guys. He won AMP champs when Sib was in the mix. So I bet he's very, very confident. And I think you would hope that, or if you're a LAG fan, you're hoping that they would go against Seattle because I think they would have delusional confidence going into that series and he could do some crazy stuff. But again, these are all hypotheticals. Tyler and I are just giving our best judgment of who we think could potentially win these series. It's hard to predict series that are literally question marks sometimes and coin flips realistically. A lot could go down. A lot of momentum could be caught. And it'll definitely be crazy to see how it unfolds.
You just don't want to play Faze and losers. Last thing, you just don't want to play Faze and losers. Like if you played against those guys, they're just so damn annoying and good.
Yep.
Like you just don't want to play them in losers, especially coming in as a fill-in. It's like you're not the most comfortable you could be on a team, and you don't want to play them when you just don't want to play them when their backs are against the wall, man. Like that's just gonna be a hard series. So yeah, I'd be praying if I was an LAG fan, I'd be praying Seattle drops down in the losers for sure.
Definitely. Tyler, I appreciate you coming on. I'm down to kind of wrap it up. It's hard to, again, predict some of these matches. We'll have to have you on when Alan's on again. And I think if you're down to hop on tomorrow, we'll continue to talk about some of the matches on Championship Sunday. But again, we'll have to have you on during some of the normal league matches when Alan's on and stuff. We could actually do some good breakdowns and talk about a lot of these games kind of more in depth when there's not so much Call of Duty going on. And I know chat, you guys watching it live, you guys want to watch this Challenger stuff. You guys want to see the live matches and watch all of this stuff for sure. So Tyler, I appreciate you coming on again. Chat, make sure to, if you guys are watching over on YouTube or watching with us live, go show him some love on social media. His at is @fellow. I know it was in the cam box below, but mods, if you guys could put it in there, we appreciate him. He's the GOAT and staple to the Call of Duty scene. So thank you again for coming on. If you guys were watching with us on Twitch, make sure to follow the stream. If you guys are watching with us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel and comment anything you guys would like to see and some other episodes. Tyler and I will be talking about some of the matches again tomorrow, maybe a little bit early. I don't know when Challengers starts. I know a lot of you guys are going to be interested in Championship Sunday for Challengers because it's got more hype around it probably than it ever has before. Just knowing that roster changes are around the corner for some of these teams. So people are definitely keeping a close eye on it. So appreciate all you guys. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Make sure to leave a like on the video. Like I said, if you're on YouTube, and comment down below. We love you guys, and we'll catch you guys until tomorrow's live stream. We're going to stick around for a watch party at Challengers in the CDL, so we'll still be live for that. And until the next one, take it easy, and we'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Peace.